John Stage built his barbecue empire the good old-fashioned way. He catered motorcycle shows, fairs, and festivals throughout the Northeast. Now, 25 years later, his dinosaur barbecue restaurants are in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
In fact, Dinosaurs recently made Forbes magazine's top 10 barbecue joints in the country. And John Stage joins us with his ultimate dish, skirt steak with charred tomato and avocado salsa. Chef, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me.
This looks fantastic. What is the key to good barbecue?
Patience. Patience, a good cut of meat, a low fire, and a little more patience.
Now, we were talking about how you got your start. You're very different from some of the normal chefs that we have come through here. You really started catering, and I think I read you said bikers need a good plate of food.
Well, it was more concessions. We would go to these bike events, and there was never any good food at them. This is back in 1983, so I'm going on 30 years of this.
Right.
So we got in the business of feeding bikers. We cut a 55-gallon drum in half. And started going to the bike events, and that led to fairs, festivals. So we were it's like a carny for 5 years up and down the East Coast.
What else? So what else have we got here? We've got corn on the cob.
Oh yeah, corn on the cob. We grilled that, basted it with some extra virgin olive oil, some pecorino romano cheese, and smoked paprika.
Now, we were telling people this is the perfect summer drink, so walk us through what we also have in front of us.
Okay, that's a watermelon margarita. It is time. It's watermelon time. So
is this kind of like fruit course today, by the way?
Yes, it is. Palate cleanser. It is good.
So that's obviously fresh watermelon, and what else did you say in there?
Yes, it is. Patron.
That's what makes it taste so good.
Oh, yeah.
So, you guys have seen such an interesting progression, and now Buffalo is next for you to open another restaurant.
Yes, it is.
You have an interesting design philosophy for these actual restaurants.
You know, it's you take the bones of the building. We like old, interesting buildings, and then we just design it around. We try not to mess it up too much. If it's got good brick, good floors, good ceiling, we just kind of go with the flow of what the building was previously.
Now, when you were first on the road for quite a while, but then you sort of settled in Syracuse. How did you happen to settle there?
You know, I moved to Syracuse, my family, when I was 12 years old.
Right.
So, yeah, I lived in Syracuse many years. And then we just started. That was always the base camp. We went on the road, and then we did that for 5 years. Got a little burnt out from all the traveling, and then opened up the first restaurant.
How did an Italian-American who grew up in New York City become obsessed with barbecue?
You know, as we went down the East Coast, and we called ourselves Dinosaur Barbecue, but I was sausage, peppers, and onions. My partner did steak sandwiches. Once we hit the Mason-Dixon line, people said, wow, we don't know what this is, but it ain't barbecue.
Right.
And that kind of like spurred something inside me, and I had to find out what real barbecue was. And that was back in 86.
Now, do you do mostly dry rubs? Because I know you guys sell the rubs and you sell the sauce. What is the process to make meat like this?
Okay, the first thing you do is you got to get the right cut of meat. And, you know, we're very picky about what we buy. Then we rub it, smoke it, then glaze it. So the sauce is a condiment. It doesn't, you know, it's not, you don't want to cover up good barbecue. You worked really hard. Like the brisket can be 12 hours. The ribs are 4 hours. You don't want to get in the way of that, but you want the sauce to complement. You want a little bit of sauce, a little bit of spice, a little bit of smoke, and then the pure pork flavor. So it's got to be a good balance.
How did you feel about making that Forbes top 10 list of barbecue?
Yeah, it was a great honor. Appreciated it. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
I was telling you earlier, you know, when I was pregnant, I would always go to your restaurant. It was one of my favorite places to eat.
That's great.
But I find that your barbecue is really just very moist. You mentioned low and slow. Is that the secret to good moist barbecue?
You know it is, and you don't want a lot of fluctuation in your temperature. It's got to be low and steady. So the idea is to just let all that fat come through and baste out. So the fat from barbecue, when it starts, like take the pork shoulder, you lose 50% of that. So all that fat slowly bastes through that meat over 12 hours. And then it's left moist and believe it or not, pretty lean.
So if you could share this meal with anyone, who would you share it with?
You know, I was thinking about that. Probably my parents. I think they'd be honored to be sitting at this table.
Oh, that's a great pick.
It is a great pick.
Well, you know the tradition here. We'd love to get your signature on this plate to add it to our wall.
Thank you very much.
Chef John Stage, thank you so much for joining us. And for more on Chef Stage and the dish, head to our website at cbsnews.com/CBS This Morning. I'll show folks your pretty signature there. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And up next...